rise and shine. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be testing out some hot new makeup. So some of the stuff is new, some of the stuff has been out for a good minute, but I decided to finally get my hands on it and test it out on my face. This video went amazing. There was not one product I did not like. I loved everything. There's like one product I had in question, but other than that, everything turned out flawless. And this is the look we created today and I love it. I'm fixing to go to the grocery store to get my Thanksgiving stuff, so I'm going to the grocery store in some full glam, which never happens, but it's going to happen today. But that is what we're going to be doing today, and I really hope you enjoy it. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and when you subscribe, hit the post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. But without further ado, let's get started. So we have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that we can be dipping into today. I really just want to choose one, but I was going through my new makeup basket and I didn't realize I literally have I have 4 eyeshadow palettes. So the first one is by Makeup Revolution. Y'all saw this in my shop with me video with my sister. This is the Makeup Revolution Precious Stone Ruby palette. I picked this up. It was really pretty. They had a couple Precious Stone palettes. I'm just going to go ahead and throw away the plastic overlay. So this is what that palette looks like. A lot of beautiful red and pink tones, some neutrals. This is really pretty. I don't think I'm going to dip into this. Maybe, but like these are really soft and buttery. So I'm really excited to dip into this eventually, but not today. Then the other one we have is the Makeup Revolution Chilled palette. This is really popular. They came out with this whole collection with cannabis in it, cannabis sativa, and I was really excited to finally get my hands on this, and this is what that looks like. So this one is a lot of greens, some blue tones, some browns, a lot of cool tones, warm tones. This is really good for fall and going into winter. I'm really excited, and this is the first palette I've gotten from Makeup Revolution that has like a glitter in it. Usually I don't really like glitters, but this one caught my eye. It is just so pretty. Look at that. Oh, it has 2 glitters. So that one is Goddess, and then it has one that's Bud. Ooh, those are pretty. Oh, nope, it has one more. Hybrid. Nope, hybrid, maybe even metallic. Maybe a metallic going into a glitter. Oh, those are pretty. Oh, now I'm contemplating what I want to do. All right, the next one is by Profusion. So this is a palette that they came out for Christmas. This is the Profusion Dancing Queen palette. So I picked this up at H-E-B. This was with like all the little Christmas sets that they have out right now. And this is what this looks like. It has a plastic overlay on it right now. But a lot of cool toned, colorful colors. I really liked this. They had like 2 different palettes, and this is the one that really caught my eye. I may pick up the other one today. But this is pretty, but I don't know. And then this is the one I think I want to go ahead and go in with because I'm so excited that I got my hands on it. This is the new LA Girl Born Exclusive 35 color eyeshadow palette. So this is the first like large eyeshadow palette that LA Girl came out with, so I was really excited. They have the shades on the back, and just looking at this alone, I fell in love. So when you take it out, this is what it looks like. Can we talk about this packaging? Can we talk about it? I'm going to pull off the plastic overlay. When you open it up, this is what it looks like. This is really pretty, a lot of neutral tones, and then we have some nice warm and cool colorful shades over here. I just look at this and I'm drawn to it. Let me just do a couple colors. Let's go in with Expressive. Expressive is like this coral colored orange up here. Let me just, ooh, very buttery. Okay, that's pretty. Ooh, they feel like butter too. So I just swatched that right there. I don't know if you can see that. So pretty. Okay, let me do a darker one. I want to go in with Maud. Maud is like this teal kind of green color. It looks a lot like that glitter shade in the Cannabis palette from Makeup Revolution, but this is a metallic. It's not a glitter. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh. Okay. So as much as I love all of these palettes, I do think today I'm going to go in with the LA Girl one just because this is really pretty. I'm really excited to get this. So I will save these either for another first impressions video, or I will just use them off camera and let you know my hits and misses. Okay, so we are going to be using the LA Girl palette today. So first thing I'm going to do, I already have my eye tapes on. I also have like eyeshadow all over my hands, and I don't know where my makeup wipes are. So I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyes using my typical NYX eyeshadow base. Y'all, I have really been looking for a new eyeshadow base, and I just haven't been able to find one yet that I love. If y'all have been watching me, in one video a while back, I tried out like a really cheap one by e.l.f. that I know Juicy Jazz says she loves a lot. And I tried it out again because when I tried it, I didn't like it. So I pulled it out of my mist drawer, tried it again, and I just didn't like it. I just love like the tacky feeling of this primer. And I just feel like it gives off so much pigment from my eyeshadows I put on top of it. It's just really hard to replace it. I think the first shade I'm going to go into is going to be the shade Inspirational, and it's right up here. It's like a nice warm toned pumpkin orange color. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in my crease using my Morphe M518 brush. So we're dipping into this. There's barely any kickback or fallout, but you get some amazing pigment. Alright, we're going to take this and start stamping it into the crease. Ooh. Okay. We have pigment. I don't know what kind of look I'm going for today. I know whatever I do, I'm not going to match like my brownish nude sweater, but we're just going to play around. So this is a really pretty color. There, like I said, there's barely like any kickback or anything in the pan, and you get some amazing pigment. I feel like I haven't done a first impressions video in a long time, and I mean, I'm sure I have. But I feel like I haven't really tested out new makeup just because I think I said this in my last first impressions too, that I feel like the drugstore has really been in a drought. Like there aren't really a lot of new products coming out. I think more than anything, the newest things that come out now, at least right now, are like lipsticks and mascaras right now. There's not really been any new foundations come out. I thought there was supposed to be a new one from Maybelline released on the 15th. But so far there hasn't been anything in my drugstore. So a lot of these first impressions aren't really new products. They're more or less stuff that I haven't tried out. Okay, to blend that out, I think I'm going to take this shade High Spirited. It's like a cool toned nude color up here. I'm going to take that with this Real Techniques brush. This is a 305. It's like a smaller blending brush. So I'm going to dip into that. And I'm just going to use this to blend out that outer edge. Okay, so I love that color. I feel like we are getting a nice, warm, like gradient effect. Love it. Okay, so there's that. I love like that transition color. Beautiful. Okay, so now what I think I want to do is I want to take a flat brush. All right, I'm going to take a flat brush. This is a Japanesque 213. It's like my favorite flat brush of all time. I need to get some new ones because I'm getting so repetitive. Okay, so typically what I would do like with this kind of crease shade, I would want to go in with another warm color like Lovingness right here. It's like a pinkish red metallic, but I want to do something different. So I was thinking of going in with either Mod, which is the beautiful like greenish blue shade we swatched, or going in with Upbeat up here. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Upbeat. They're very, very similar. Or I could be like really funky and go in with Fun right here. No, I think I want to do either Mod or Upbeat. Okay, so you know what? Let's do this again. So this one is Mod, and it's definitely more on the green side with a little bit of blue. And then let's go into Upbeat. Yeah, even swatched, they look really similar. Okay, so I still have Mod right here. Let me take Upbeat and do it right next to it. Yeah, they are super similar. Okay, so I think Upbeat looks just a tad bit darker than Mod. So I think I'm going to go in with Mod because I still want to maintain a little bit of brightness in this look. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go in with Mod on my 213, and I'm going to try it dry first. Once again, dipping in here. These are like super, super buttery. So let me get a mirror closer up. All right, and I want to see how this looks dry. Ooh. Okay, that is beautiful. I do want to go ahead and try it with a damp brush, so I'm going to dip back in a little bit. I'm just going to take my Rimmel London spray and just spray my brush a little bit. Oh my gosh, and it gets even better. I didn't think that could happen. So I'm going to take this shade, I'm going to put it on the lid, but not like all the way up to the crease, because I'm going to blend this out a little bit with more of that orange shade we used. Y'all, I'm not even kidding. These feel like freaking butter. Okay, that is beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with Inspirational with the same 518 brush, and I'm just going to blend this into the crease a little more to blend that orange and green together. Okay, I love this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke out the outer V just a tad. So I think I'm going to go in with the shade Extra right here. It's like a really dark, like turquoise greenish color. I'm going to take that on my new brush. This is the Morphe M514. And I don't want to take a lot. I just want to dip into a little bit just to give the outer corner a little depth. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to carefully swirl this on my outer V. Freaking love this. I feel like darkening out the outer corners just really gave it that little bit of depth we needed. I want to go back in with a little bit of Mod just in the inner corners to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, so I think that's it right now. I know it looks like a mess, but every time we take off the eye tapes, it just looks better. Oh. Ooh, don't hurt them. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the face. So I'm really excited for this new primer water. So this is by Makeup Revolution, and this is the Purifying Primer Water, and this was part of the Cannabis collection they released. I just picked this up yesterday on my not so great trip to Ulta. Not a good experience, but I found what I was looking for. Well, not really, but I found one thing. So I'm really excited to use this. Y'all know I am a big primer water and setting spray fan, and I'm also a big critic when it comes to the spritzers. So let's go ahead. Ooh. Ooh, it smells good too. I will say the spritzer could be a little bit finer, but it still feels really nice to me. I still can't get over my eyes. I'm like looking at myself, such a narcissist. Okay, so now that that is drying down, for primer, we are going to be using this by Essence. This is the prime+studio Glow Boosting and Pore Minimizing Primer. So this also says it has pink clay in it. On the back, it says a pale complexion. This ultra soft primer is here to help. The texture with natural pink clay gives the face a fresh touch and minimizes pores optically for a wide awake, radiant complexion. The texture is translucent on application. Use alone or underneath makeup. We're going to open this up. I'm going to take about maybe a dime size amount. It is like a pinkish color. All right, I'm going to rub this together and put this on the insides of my cheeks, my chin, and my nose. And then just work the rest out. So it smells really good. So when it comes to pore filling, I don't really see it. I do see like a glow, but pore filling, I would say no. Okay, so for foundation, we have a couple we could try. So I bought the e.l.f. BB creams with SPF 20 in it. I got two shades. I got the shade Fair and I got the shade Buff because I feel like this is a little too light, this is a little too dark. Maybe if we mix, we can come up with a match. And then I got the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation. I got the shade 115 Ivory. I've been mentioning that I've been trying really hard to like find better shades for myself because usually I either get too dark or too yellow. So I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to try out the e.l.f. one first. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we can mix in some of the Maybelline. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the shade Fair first. This does look like it's actually been used. I just noticed that. Okay, so let me just take some of this out. Put it right here. Yeah, to me this looks like it'd be a little too light. So let me take the shade Buff. Okay, I think if I mix in a little bit of Buff with the Fair, that will have a good match. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of Fair and just dot it on my face. Okay. And then I'm going to take a Buff and dot that as well. Okay, so to blend this out, I am super excited because I actually had a new upcoming brand reach out to me. This is by Instylish. This is their beauty sponge. So they reached out to me in my email and they said they loved my channel and they wanted to know if I'd be interested in trying out their product. So this is a multifunctional makeup sponge. They sent me two, so I already have one right here that I wet under the sink. So this is what it looks like in the container. This is what it looks like out and when it's wet. So it is kind of like, I wouldn't say furry, but it's kind of furry. It reminds me a lot of like the Junko sponges that people were like talking about. So I'm just going to use this. It does feel really nice. I do know if I like makeup sponges right off the bat, especially since y'all know I am obsessed with my Wet n Wild one. But let's go ahead and blend out this BB cream and see what we got. Ooh, that's pretty. So a BB cream's job is essentially to be lighter than a foundation, more natural looking. And I feel like that this is exactly what it's doing. It is a really pretty color though. And I do feel like blending those two is like my perfect shade. The sponge is okay. It's not my favorite, so I'll say that. Just because they sent it to me, I am still going to give my honest opinion no matter what. So the sponge is okay. It's not like the most amazing sponge I've ever used. So there's the BB cream all blended out, and overall it looks nice. I do want to build this up to be a little more coverage though, especially with the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Maybelline foundation. It does not have a pump, which I personally prefer a pump. So I'm just going to shake some of this out and put it where I want more coverage, which is essentially everywhere. Alright, we're going to take our sponge and blend that out. Okay, so there are the foundations on. Overall, I think they look really good. I do feel like something is oxidizing just a little bit, not too much. So hopefully with concealer, we can make it work. I do want to mention though that, like I said, they did send me 2 sponges. I am going to put this one aside for my Christmas giveaway. So for concealer, we have 2 options. I picked up the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, this even skin tone, natural looking coverage. I got the shade 10 Fair. And then I picked up a new shade in the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. So usually what I used to do, So usually what I used to do is I used to really like a really highlighted under eye. So I have the shade Fair Warm, which is the lightest shade. It's basically white. So I'm really trying harder to get like more correct shades. So this was in the shade Medium Peach. Let me open this up. And this is definitely, it's still light, but it's not like stark white like the other one. Now I will say the last time I used e.l.f. concealer, I wasn't impressed. It really broke up underneath my eyes. I don't know if maybe I just don't have the right skin for it, but I wasn't too impressed with it. So personally what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Maybelline concealer first since I've never used this one, and we'll see what kind of coverage we get. Okay, so not a lot comes off at all on the doe foot. I don't want to put too much. Okay, let me just start off with that. Alright, and we're going to take our sponge and blend it out. I do wonder how this sponge will be like with baking, because it's like, well, the fact that it's like, I want to say feathered. I don't know what you would call this, like when it's hairy. I wonder if like it'll let the powder stick to it. Let's go ahead and blend under the eyes because that is like where I'm the biggest critic. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. Okay, just because I want just a little more brightness underneath my eyes, I am going to go in with the e.l.f. one. I'm just going to dab a little bit. I hear a little bit's all you need. I'm just going to do a little on the tip of my nose. Alright, this e.l.f. concealer is blending out so much better than the first time I used it. I also want to mention before I forget that that BB cream by e.l.f. kind of smelled a lot like sunscreen. I mean, I know it has SPF 20 in it, but I've used things that don't really smell like sunscreen that have SPF in it, and that one smells like the straight up pool. Okay, I don't have any powder, so I'm just going to set with my favorite Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. I have really been diving back into this and loving it. Ooh, this picks up powder nicely. So my biggest concern was that this sponge wouldn't really pick up powder because of the texture of it, but it's picking it up really nicely. My god, this powder just always does me good. Okay, the face is set. So typically what I'll do after I go in with the sponge is I'll just take a powder brush. So this is the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush, and I'll just dip into a little bit of the powder and dust it on my face to make sure I got everything. And we are going to need to bronze our chest because this has oxidized a little bit. Foundation, lips are gone. So now we have bronzer. So I technically have 2 bronzers that we can dip into. So the first one is by Flower Beauty. This is the Heatwave Luminous Bronzer, and it looks like this. So this is actually the darkest tone. This is in the shade Sunswept. The other one just looked really, really cool toned, and you know I love my warm tone bronzers. And then we have this cheeky face palette, which I picked up from Burlington during my shop with me with my sister. And it looks like this. And it does have this one bronzer in it that's almost like on the cool tone going into the warm. So I actually like this. So I think what I'm going to do first is go in with the Flower Beauty one. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take it on my Pac-Man brush because I haven't used this in a while. So I'm just going to swirl my brush in there. Alright, and let's see what we get. It's there a little bit. So you definitely need to build up the pigment. Overall, it's a pretty shade. I don't really see luminous in it. I think I did a little too much. Hold on. Okay, I do want to dip into the bronzer in that cheeky palette. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to use this EcoTools powder brush I've literally had forever. So let me just dip into here. Alright, and let's see what we got. Ooh! Okay, that's nice. Y'all, we are going to be bronzed today, Lord. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Luminous bronzer, and I'm going to take a big bronzer brush. I'm going to take my e.l.f. one. Y'all know I love this. So I'm going to swirl it into there, and I'm going to take this bronzer on my chest. Go ahead and take our Maybelline loose powder, and I'm going to take our sponge, and we are going to cut these cheeks. Ooh. I am going to take the bronzer in that cheeky palette, and I'm just going to take my Flower Beauty brush I used to nose contour, and I'm just going to run some of this down the sides of my nose. There we go. I don't know, I haven't really been like baking my nose lately just because I just like a little something. Okay, so while we let this powder sit here for a while, I'm going to zoom you in so we can do some brows. Okay, so today I am going to be playing around and doing something a little different to my brows. So Nikki Tutorials uploaded a video on how she gets her big fluffy brows. Now, I don't want big fluffy brows because the last time I did big brows was like 5 years ago, and they weren't brows, they were Nike checks on my face. So I'm just going to start off by outlining them with my LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. I have been loving doing this. Well, first off, I'm going to brush them with spoolie. So let's brush it into place first. And now we're going to take our brow pencil and outline them. Okay, so there's the outline. So this is just like the bases of the brow. So now I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Waterproof Brow Gel. Y'all know, if you've been watching me from the beginning, I used to use this all the time. And what I'm going to do is with my e.l.f. eyebrow brush, I'm just going to take some off of the little, I don't know what this is called, applicator. I'm just going to take a little bit off of here. And I'm just going to add a little more depth to my tail of my eyebrow. I'm mainly focusing this like on the top part of my eyebrow, not really the bottom, because I want the top to have the most structure. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the spoolie and I'm just going to run that through a little bit. Okay, so now that we got that done, it's coming together. So I want to go in with more of that brow gel, and now I'm going to start focusing on filling about 3/4 in, not to the very front, but about maybe to where your pupil stops. So I'm going to start on the end, and I'm not putting a lot. I'm actually just going to dot this throughout the brow because we'll spoolie it in. I like testing out new things with my eyebrows just because if you've known me, my eyebrows have been a journey. Like, my eyebrows have been to hell and back, but we've found good times. We've had good times and bad times. Okay, now that we've done that, we just have to work on the front. So then I picked up this Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Tinting Pen, which looks like it's supposed to be able to make like actual hair strokes. So I want to attempt to do that because I don't ever really do hair strokes in my eyebrows. So I'm going to take this. I got the shade Blonde, and yep, it does have like a hair stroking kind of thing going on. So I'm going to take this, and I think I'm just going to kind of towards the front. Like that. It's interesting. So they're very boxy. They're more boxy than I would like. Just kind of. So there are the brows all done. Overall, I like them. They're a little boxy in the front. I still don't have the hang of this brow pen, but it is something that I'd be willing to try out. So I don't have a new brow gel. I'm just going to set with my Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow in the shade Light Pale. Okay, so the brows are set. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera and pop on some new lashes. So these are by Salon Perfect. They're the Silk Noir Luxurious Layered Volume. These are in the style 651. These are very similar to the 614s I always wear. They almost seem like they're double stacked 614s. They kind of look a little shorter than I would like, but maybe with some mascara we'll be able to make it work. So I'm going to go off camera, pop these on, and I will be right back. Okay, lashes are on. So these were a little harder to apply just because the band is a little thicker. I'm having a little bit of a problem with my left eye, but overall they're pretty. So we are just going to coat them with some mascara. This is from the Makeup Revolution Cannabis collection. This is the Blowout High Volume Mascara. I don't really like to judge mascaras really, just because I use them to blend my natural lashes in with the falsies. So I don't really judge them too harshly. As long as they're black, they blend my lashes nice, and they give my falsies a little lift, I'm good. Which is really what these seem to be doing. So overall, I'm a happy girl. I zoomed in a little bit closer because I want to do some work on the lower lash line. So I'm going to line my waterline with this LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade Fresh. This is like a Breakfast at Tiffany's color, and I think it will give the eyes such a nice pop. Okay, so now that we got that on, let's go back in with our LA Girl palette. And I think I'm going to mix High Spirited and Inspirational, which were the two shades we put in our crease. I'm going to take that with this Fair brush. This is a number 6, the short shading brush that I got in an Ipsy box. So I'm just going to go between the two. Alright, and I'm just going to brush this on our lower lash line. Okay, zoomed you back out. So I'm going to take my stippling brush and just dust away the bake. Okay, so for blush, I had picked up one of these Maybelline Fit Me blushes, but this is in the shade Pink Rose, and I don't think, if I could get it open, I don't think this is going to go with our eye look at all. I want something a little more warm. So when I think of warm, the first thing I gravitate towards is my Makeup Obsession Isn't It Peachy palette. This is just perfect. So I am going to just mix these 3 shades. I don't really dip into this one because it has some pink in it, so I'm just going to mix these 3. Beautiful. I don't have a new highlighter, so today we are going to be using this one by e.l.f. This is in the shade White Gold, and I haven't really dipped into it that much, but I wanted something that had a little bit of a goldish base. So I'm going to take this, and this is a good highlighter that you can really build up, and of course we're going to build it up because I love me a glow. Do you just see once you build it up how pretty it is? Oh. Okay, we are almost done. So now for lips, I picked up a few things by Milani, and I usually don't use Milani too much. The only thing I really use from Milani is their Conceal and Perfect Concealer. That used to be my all-time favorite. Now it's the Juvia's Place I Am Magic. But I picked these up, so I noticed that they had like lip liners for only $3, and then like the lipstick was $4. So we are going to be using that. I'm trying to get the plastic off of it. Alright, so this is the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner, True Instant Color, Lawn Wearing, Easy Glide Formula to line and fill. And I got the shade All Natural, so it's like a warmish nude color, and it is a wooden pencil. Usually I don't like wooden pencils. If you've been watching me, you know I love, love, love the Wet n Wild gel lip liners. I have every single color. So, but we are going to use this to line our lips. So it is a really nice formula. It is pretty soft. I will say, I think my Wet n Wild ones are a little bit more pigmented, but overall this is nice. Okay, so there's the lip liner. I'm not going to fill in my lips just because I don't know like how the formulas react together, but overall this is really nice. It's not as smooth as my Wet n Wild gel ones, but it's smoother than I expected a wood pencil to be. So now I'm going to use some Milani Color Statement lipstick. This is in the shade Bahama Page, and it is like a cool toned brown color. I'm trying to decide if this lip color looks okay with this eye look. I think it does. It's a little more brown. I wanted a little more like orangish base, but it looks okay. A really, really smooth formula. I got a few more colors of these, so I'm really excited to try those out. Alright, and then the last thing we have to do is set our face, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Calming Makeup Fixing Spray with Cannabis Sativa. Alright guys, and that is it for today's video of testing out some new makeup. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Looking at my counter, I loved everything. There's not one thing I didn't like. If anything, there's like one thing I haven't questioned, and it would be that Essence Primer. Now this did give me a really nice glow, but it was not pore minimizing at all. Other than that, I loved everything. The BB cream was good. It did smell really, really strongly like sunscreen, but I don't really care about scents, to be honest. The setting spray, the primers, concealers were good, bronzers was good. I love this sponge, so thank you so much Instylish for sending it to me to test out. This was great. Like I said, I will be including the second one in my Christmas giveaway, so keep a lookout for that. But yeah, I loved everything. I loved this LA Girl palette. This is beautiful. You can create so many looks with all these colors. I love the look I created today. It's very reminiscent of an eye look I created in a first impressions video. I think it was like my very first impressions video, but this is such an improvement compared to that one. So I loved this. I also loved this cheeky face palette from Burlington, really pigmented. I should have used, I totally forgot this had blushes because I could have used like this color instead of my Makeup Obsession, but we'll try that out next time. The bronzer in here was beautiful. So yeah, I loved everything. Comment down below and let me know if you've tried out any of these products and what your thoughts are on them. But that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.